Tic-tac-toe, anyone? Suppose I could take some charcoal out of the wood stove and have a go at a game. But the reason I am showing this is because I talked to a good buddy online and had to dispense this information. What that is, if you haven't figured it out now, that is my garage floor. And with this apparatus, which I have constructed, fabricated, invented, and designed, and assembled, if you will. It's going a little too far here. Anyway, I don't know if you saw, I had some stonework videos up on my other YouTube channel, and I'll put some more of that up sometime. But anyway, I'm building a stone house. I got a lot of Ed Leedskalnin stuff in my head and other people's. And I purchased a target saw that has a 14-inch diamond cutting blade on it. Well, I loaned it to a guy after I had broke a few teeth on it. He bought me a new blade, and I took the old blade and I cut her down to size. And what I did by doing so was, this one was one of the ones that was broken. This is a diamond segment, and they silver solder them onto nothing more than a very small piece of steel, decent steel, but it's quite weldable with this antiquitized piece of machinery. That is a Montgomery Ward I got from my grandfather. That thing's 40 years old or so anyway. It still cranks out. Seen better days. I've hit it with a backhoe a couple times. Anyway, back to this. So that machine you just saw, I laid them out. Let me try to, bear with me, I won't make it a long video, but I want people to try to understand this. From a cross-sectional point of view, what I did is took all the segments, pizza slices that I cut with a regular old one of those. Those things stink, and you wear some of these, because otherwise they pull out of your hand. There's no way to clamp it. So you're free airing, slicing these little pizza pies. So try to follow me on this, because I hope some of you guys do this. This is kind of my invention, I think. And I know I should run and get it patented, blah, blah, blah. But this is a home deal. And I will show you what I did and why, because I hope somebody actually does this, because this is really cool. I think it's an artisan's avenue, because for industry, it'd be a little bit, okay, I can do that better, but I'm going to get big money for it. So to continue on without the babble, I don't know, there was 18, I think the saw had 20 segments with slots in between for the kerf relief. It's a water-fed water bath out there that I cut. It'll cut a regular rock like that chunk of wood in half in literally 20 seconds, you know. It's flying. It's got all kinds of power. These diamond teeth are really well designed by the eggheads in the labs, and China knows how to press them together with alloy compounds. They make segments, and literally the cool info, folks, is later on you can buy those online, not these things I cut out, and solder them to your own blade, because it only takes silver solder to a semi-carbon contented iron blade like Ed had, about the size of that chunk of cardboard, and you can really go up to this old planet and start sawing a hole in it. You just need the right power and the time. The time is the kicker. Anyway, so you could make your own blade with these segments. Obviously, I don't have the money right now to go buy silver solder, machine a certain straightened edge, so on and so forth. But what I've done is this. I cut all these pizza pies. I laid them out on a straight edge. I think I used one of my big copper deals here, like so. Lined them up. And then what I did is I doubled them up. Alright, so you guys got to see this. I doubled them up. I took the broken ones, cut the ends off. You can cut right through these diamond segments with that thing. I mean, it's hard, but it cuts them. It'll cut that composite that they use. It's not impossible. So you cut it so you end up with an end on it, doubled, or you'll end up with some relief in the quarry, weird relief in the quarry. And then I fabricated a, if you look, that's got kind of a battle axe flare on each end for insertion. Now, I double staggered them, as you see. I left gaps for kerf, about the same size that the blade was. I turned them around in the middle. I only got 5 anyway. Make a long story short, you can kind of see the angle that I got. No, don't laugh. It's not perfectly straight, but it's not bad. That welder bends pretty well. Anyway, the alignment is staggered like marching men, and at each end it's doubled up. Now, here's the kicker. When you do this, I put a piece of iron bar across the top as it was laying like so. Let me see, I even have a piece right here. Oh, that's a heavy goober. Alright, so I did this. I laid it across here. Try to get this. I'll try not to yell. And what that did is, if you can try to see, this was before I tacked it to this piece. Try to follow me on this, folks, because this is kind of important, and it's an actual accidental discovery that's really a recycling, it's an accident that proves to be quite worthy of some, oh my goodness, look at that kind of thing, the way I'm trying to describe this. All right, so follow me on this. When I did that, see these pivot points here? See how they're lined up here, all marching? At first they were flat. But when I laid that across, it teeter-tottered every other one down flat to meet here. And as it did so, before they were even welded, every one kind of pivots a smidgen, I suppose, along here, a thousandths or two, which spreads these blades just enough, because see, I can almost pinch them together more. But I really don't want that, because what that does is it does two things actually, but the number one reason is that it creates, when you're not going to be able to see this real easy, but it creates kind of a tapered angle with those two segments just slightly apart, and that little bit of stone that gets cut adds to the width, and it breaks out real easy. But I'll show you something in a second here. As you saw, the tic-tac-toe. We didn't cut too far with the tic-tac-toe. Some of the boys came over the other day, and yesterday, as a matter of fact, I got all kinds of sidetracked. We had a blast. I needed that. Shout out to them. A couple of cold ones and such went down, and I sat here, annoyingly, with this thing I hold in my hand, and I started cutting into the floor, and it worked amazing. So, that taper business I speak of was merely to spread the teeth at the base. It allowed me to have a simple way of welding the teeth together, overlapped, and it put these at one spot, so when I found a half-size piece of steel exactly straight, it would tack and create like a tooth that's bent like on a saw. I don't know if you guys know how teeth are. They alternate and they bend and create a width so that the blade can not get bound up. That's simple, you know. Same thing here. That's why it's flared both ways. It's got to look like a giant mushroom from one angle. All right, ready? And a 1, and a 2, and a 3. There we go. That right there is the cut that I was annoyingly sawing for literally only 5 minutes, maybe 3 minutes the first time. Got them all pissed off. Swept it up, and they were going, yeah, that's doing something. And we sat around, shot the breeze back and forth, and then I had to interrupt it again, so I grabbed the thing, like I'm doing right now, in a second, and I started cutting, because it's kind of annoying, and I cut another 2 minutes. They weren't paying attention, and then when I swept it up, I got this. And you can see that that's really not just a little scratch. That's not even 5 minutes with me shooting a breeze with the boys, sitting here, pretty much doing this. Now granted, I'm going a long distance, but even if that machine went, that you just saw over here on the yoke like Ed did, or even better yet, what I'm going to do is emulate like I did in the quarrying video for Christmas this year, or last year, 2 weeks ago. I'm going to connect that thing up to a smaller arm that runs this. And then I'm going to go get me some coffee. And then I'm going to come back outside in this 10-degree weather. Well, it's 20 now. Actually feels warm. Yeah, when the breeze blows 20 degrees in on top of -10 and it feels warm, I got to get out of here. Anyway, so now you saw that. It did take some more dust, which means it's doing something. And with the magic of witchcraft aid, you can see that Deeds, old boy, I'm going to have to go get me some of that compound. He knows what I'm talking about. They all know if they saw the old videos. I was trying to saw a hole in the floor over here one time, and I couldn't do it with those grater blades. Well, I can now. So I guess I got to be careful what I wish for. Alright, so there's the mechanism that was in the quarrying methods and apparatus. I've improved it this time a little bit, just so the wheel doesn't fall off. And I've connected it up to my diamond blade. And I've got two little guides there, which I was standing on before. But now I will plug it in and we'll see how it cuts without me standing on it. Okay, well that's enough of that. I'll let it go and document how long it went and such, or try to recall, let's say, and then I'll just show what happened. It looks like it's going to be a while. And this has good rhythm, like some song on a chain gang. Almost danceable song. Over and out for the moment. done about 7 or 8 minutes. Of course, that speed was just the weight of that blade. That's already cut in pretty good. Almost as deep as the other one. The other one we were forcing it in a little bit. But if I swept it away, it's probably a lot deeper than I think it is. But I'll check it after. Off for now. More weight on it now. Seems to cut quite a bit faster. A lot more load on the motor. The friction goes up quite a bit. You can hear the difference. You can see it too. There's a lot more powder. A lot quicker. Okay, folks, well, I've ceased the cutting event and vacuumed up the relief, and you can probably see that pretty good. I'm deeper than the cut that we made when the guys were here, and I haven't put a lot of pressure on it. I took that big angle back off because it was too much for my little machine over here. But it did cut a lot faster when I had the proper amount of weight, so there's a balance in the equation. But there you go. You can see that's a pretty good little cut, and it's on its way. That's enough. I don't want to cut my garage in half. Over and out.